When you're first starting out, like how can you actually lock in the deal? How much money do you need to get started in wholesaling?
Generally speaking, like in the States, usually we do about 1%, 1 to maybe 1.5%, right? You can try to negotiate for lower, but again, it just depends on the market demand.
Percentage of what?
Purchase price.
Okay.
I know like in Canada, especially where we are in Toronto right now, I think 2 to 2.5% is very common. 20, 25K all the way to 50K. It just depends on where you are. The reason why the deposit or earnings fund is so high over here is because we just have way too much demand. It's always been in the seller's market. So they get to pick how much they want you to commit to them.
Because I guess in the States, like you can lock in anything.
No, honestly, we do have actually off-market deal that was assigned to us. We saw that the deposit was only 5,000. For us, it's like, okay, as long as the seller is okay with it, then that's fine. It's just that typically the agents will recommend the seller to go up to maybe 25, 50K.
And who would that money go to exactly?
Trust account.
Okay.
So it could be the broker's trust account or lawyer's trust account. But it's not going directly to the seller. It's just going directly to the brokerage.
With the lawyer.
They're holding it in trust so that nobody's touching the money until the deal actually goes through. But yeah, the most important thing for you to not, like as any wholesaler, is to make sure that you always have contingency plan, right? The offer has to be conditional upon approval of your business partner, or it could be a walkthrough condition where you give yourself at least a chance, like 5 days for you to walk through the property and either okay it or back out the deal. If you don't give yourself enough time to back out the deal, the problem is that if you decide to actually back out and the seller is not willing to cooperate with you, then you end up losing that deposit, because that deposit is a good faith of you securing that deal.
Could you get like into legal trouble as well?
Of course, especially in Canada, in Toronto where we are. If you lock something in for, let's say 700K, and then you pay down, let's say 25K. If this seller end up selling this for, let's say 650K, you're actually liable for the difference. So they get to keep your deposit here, and because they had a loss of 50K, they can actually go back and sue you for additional 25K. That's a potential liability for wholesaler in Canada. In the States, the earnings money is gone, then it's over.
So to not lose that, you go in conditional.
You want to put a condition, and this conditional offer, what it does is that you tell the seller that, hey, listen, this deal needs to be approved by my partner, my business partner.
Or your buyer.
Or your buyer.
Yeah, but
exactly.
You wouldn't say that though.
Not necessarily. Sometimes like the being honest is probably the best way to actually negotiate a deal.
Okay.
Right? Because you're just like, hey, listen, here's my situation. If you want to make this deal work, let's figure something out. And if they're in the situation where they really need to sell the property within that timeline, they're going to agree to it. Again, like being honest with what you intend to do, you actually won't rub people the wrong way. But let's go back to this conditional offer. If you put 7 days or 14 days for you to back out the deal and have the deposit fully refunded back to you, that's what we call the conditional offer. So basically what this does is that you're telling the seller that, hey, listen, I might back out the deal. If my condition is not fulfilled or I'm not satisfied with the condition, then I'm going to get my deposit back. Next question is that a lot of questions that we're getting is that if we don't have the money, can we still do wholesaling? If you answer yes, you need to be a little bit more creative in this case. Let's say if you don't have 25K or 20K or like 10K, depending on what area you're in. If you don't have that money and you want to wholesale a deal, before you do anything, you need to make sure that whatever you're trying to lock in, you already have the buyer for it, but you're not showing that deal to the buyer. Let's say if you're trying to lock in but without any money, you also don't want to be presenting this deal to the buyer immediately, because now people can go under you. You still need to get that locked in. Things that you can do is you can try to figure out option number one, negotiate with a seller. Hey, listen, I'm going to secure this one for as little as 5K for the time being. Once I remove the condition, I'm going to top it out with 10K. You can do something like that. Break it down into 2 different steps. When you do that, you don't have to come up with 15K immediately. You can just come up with 5K. Put that under your credit card or something. By the time you find a buyer, you get a buyer to pay your 10K plus the deposit for you. Okay, so buyer now gives you 10K plus maybe you want another 15K in here. So buyer needs to come up with 25K here. Okay, and if you cannot find this, you use the condition to back out. You say, hey, listen, I'm not satisfied with my conditional offer. So I need to back out, I need to get my deposit back. Option number 2, very simple. Figure out how to raise that capital from somewhere else. People around us, if they know exactly what you're doing and what you're trying to, like what your business model is, and they see that every 15K, you're just putting it as a deposit, you're getting that back, and then you can make that 15K back, you can literally pitch this business idea to another investor.
It's almost risk-free.
Could be friends, family, and colleagues. And as long as they know that the money that they're going to give to you is not going to be spent on any random things, it's actually only going to be used solely for securing the property, then there's no risk for both ends. And what you do is try to figure out how to raise 100K. And the reason why I say that is because 100K will allow you to secure 5, 6, 7 different projects. Imagine if you have your deal pipeline build out. You have like 3, 4, 5 deals coming in every single month, and you can only secure one. It's really slowing down your progress as a business owner. So raise a little bit more money, explain your business model to the people that you feel like you can raise the capital from, and then have them actually inject that 100K for you so that you don't have to worry about coming up with a deposit or earnest money for your deal.
What would be like the return for the investors exactly?
Here's the thing, this is not a real estate deal. Okay, a lot of times people will do 50-50. 50 for active partner, the other one is for passive partner. In this case, you're not really investing into real estate. You're asking this investors to invest in your business model, into your business operating income or operating funds. So what you do, investor will get 25%, 75% is you as a business operator. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because 100K, if you can actually generate 25% of a 100K profit, that's a lot of money. That's way more than 6, 10, 15% private money, private lending. People will actually be happy with the 25% if they don't have to do any work. But now for you, because you're going to do a lot of deal sourcing, there's operating costs that you need to incur, which is your marketing expense and also your own pay, the time that you spend in negotiating with a seller, your gas, your office expense and all that stuff, right? There's an expense that you need to incur, which is your operational cost, right? So that's why you need to get paid a little bit more, because this is not a real estate deal. This is a business operation. But here's the thing, if you can actually make a lot more than 100K, let's say if you use that 100K, again, this allows you to do maybe five deals at a time. Imagine if you're doing, let's say 3 deals per month times 12, 36, and let's say 36 deals times 10K per profit, that's 360K on top of the initial investment, which is 100K. This at 25%, 360 times 25% will give you about 90K. The more you do, the better return the investors getting. Right, so this little bit will be 90% of ROI for the investor. So as long as you can explain this part clearly with exactly what you're doing and your track record on how many deal flow that's coming in that you can actually secure and flip it to a different investor, there's a return. Like even at 25%, the return is very, very appealing to a lot of investors. 2 different options that you can solve your capital issue when you're wholesaling a real estate deal. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking to get into real estate wholesaling, there's another video for you to watch. And if you're looking to compress the time and learn the step-by-step in the next 30 days, make sure you fill out the application below. Our team will reach out to you.